What are the best and the worst areas in Dubai for real estate investing? The data-backed answer in 3, 2, 1. There are none. And here is why. Every area serves a different investment goal, so there is no one-size-fits-all solution. And in this video, I'll walk you through 6 key investors' objectives and show you which areas could make you millions and which ones could waste your money. Starting with capital growth. And the best capital growth is happening in the areas with high demand and limited supply. It's obvious which areas these are when you look at the map. Check out the city's coastline. This is where the most desired apartments and villas are located. It's the same in many cities worldwide, but in Dubai these properties are scarcer than you can imagine. The problem is that most of the coastline is almost fully reserved for GCC citizens. They own villas and even mansions there. But if you are from the US, the UK, India or elsewhere, you can't own them. As a result, beachfront properties in Dubai are extremely limited. There are over 800,000 residential units in the city, but only about 35,000 are in beachfront areas. That's just around 4%. So let's see if this 4% can truly be considered the best for capital appreciation. Here we have JBR and Blue Waters, which have no free plots. The areas are mature, so capitalizing on developing infrastructure isn't an option. But the last 3 years were years of massive growth, and Blue Waters grew by 141% since 2021. That's an insanely high value. Nearby there is Palm Jumeirah and Emaar Beachfront. Both significantly outperformed the market in the last 3 years. Palm Jumeirah grew by 68% and Emaar Beachfront by 55%. New projects are expected, and these might be great investment options, but since the areas are hyped, the properties are likely to be expensive. So you shouldn't expect the crazy fast growth. Then there are these 3 places. In 3 years, the first grew by over 150%, the second increased by more than 200%, and the third is selling right now. I'll tell you all about them in a couple of minutes, but these properties aren't for everyone. Now let me share 2 of the hottest beachfront opportunities that are still relatively affordable. First, Maritime City. It's an artificial island where Omniyacht and its sister company Beyond plan to create a master community. Omniyacht is known for its collaboration with Dorchester, an ultra-luxurious hotel brand. Later, they'll build something here too. Beyond is more affordable and relatively simpler. The second opportunity is Dubai Islands. It's a set of 4 artificial islands expected to be Dubai's next Palm Jumeirah, with hotels, villas and residential buildings. Some will have access to public beaches and some will have their own private beach. In our opinion, the most interesting spot for investment is Island B. First, the number of residential buildings on this island is limited. A large part of it is dedicated to villas, and the total number of residential units planned is 5 times lower compared to Island A. Second, Island B will be much calmer, much more private. It's not just less populated, it's also further from the flight path. So even until flights move from the XB airport, residents won't be bothered by the noise. Third, the beach line is longer and there will be private beaches. On Island A, a large share of the coastline is public beach. There are exceptions like Ellington Cove, but it's sold out quickly and isn't available anymore. A private beach is a huge plus. And now let's go back to those 3 areas I was talking about. The first one that showed a 150% growth is Jumeirah Bay Island. That's where the Bulgari Hotel and the residences are located. Another one where the property prices more than doubled is Mars Al Arab, an ultra-luxurious residential building near Burj Al Arab. Both are in a completely different price tier compared to what we discussed before. The median unit in Bulgari is worth around $7 million, and in Mars Al Arab it's over $20 million. The reason these properties are rapidly growing is the same: high demand with limited supply. In 2024, Dubai ranked as the top destination for relocating millionaires, with a net increase of 6.7 thousand people. Now the Emirate has over 70,000 millionaires. That's 80% more than 10 years ago. Of course, high-net-worth individuals are looking for the most exclusive and luxurious places in Dubai. Properties that tick all the boxes are truly scarce, but these 2 places do tick all the boxes. Direct private beach access. Exceptional service thanks to hotel management. Bulgari is operated by Marriott and Mars Al Arab by Jumeirah. Central locations. An exclusive community. The owners' names aren't public, but a quick Google search reveals rumors about some very big names. The developer behind these areas is Miraz, and now they are transforming another area, La Mer. At the tip of the island, they are building a concept targeted at the same buyer group. There is a very limited number of units, 29 apartments and 6 villas. and in fact it's more accurate to call them mansions. All are near the private beach, offer open sea views, and come with the finest hotel service by Jumeirah Hotel Group. And all of that is just 15 minutes from downtown. To give you a sense of prices, there are now 11,000 square feet apartments available at $25 million US. This will grow because uniqueness is the key growth factor, but areas that perform poorly in terms of capital growth often lack this uniqueness. Here's an example. The concept sounded attractive to many buyers. This area has a good location, not too far from the city center. And the master developer announced an artificial lagoon. By the way, this might make it seem that this area and many others with artificial lagoons qualify as waterfront areas. Technically true, but don't confuse them with beachfront areas. Value appreciation dynamics are very different. In this area, mid-rise residential buildings were built next to the lagoon. Each building has around 230 units, which isn't much, but the main issue is that there are 70 identical buildings in the neighborhood. So there are 16,000 units in total. When the properties were sold at the off-plan stage, the average price was around $406 per square foot. At handover, many investors decided to sell and flooded the market. By 2023, the average resale price reached just $410 per square foot. That's unfortunate, so many clients who understand how important it is to get high-demand and undersupplied units ask about best villa and townhouse areas. And that's understandable. Since 2021, villas and townhouses have increased by 69% in value compared to 36% for apartments. But does this mean any area with villas will be a top-performing investment? Of course not. Let me give you some facts about one of the major areas. It's deep in the desert, about a 30–40 minute drive to key city spots, so it's more residential than touristic. However, it's near the airport, so as the airport expands, it will become noisier. The total number of villas and townhouses that will be built there is more than 20,000, and a 3-bedroom townhouse costs around 3.5 million dirhams, or $950,000 US. For the same money, you can buy a 5-bedroom unit in a community much closer to key Dubai areas. None of that means the area won't grow at all. Despite these factors, it has shown a very high value appreciation rate. The question is, will it continue to outperform the market with $1 million starting prices and so many units delivered? So let's discuss 3 villa and townhouse areas with the best chances to outgrow the market. One premium area and one more budget-friendly. Starting with the premium one, as it has already shown huge demand and every new phase sells out super quickly. Here the developer invests $20 billion to build everything from scratch. The plan is to create long man-made lagoons and beaches and build the villas around them. They're also going to make the space very green, with greenery occupying 20–30% of the community. And they are building a mall with a 1.5 million square foot retail area. The area is called Oasis by Emaar, and Emaar aspires to bring it to the same level as Jumeirah Islands, Emirates Hills or Al Barari. Emaar has sold more than 1,000 villas already, at a median price of about $4.4 million. And the median price per square foot is $355 or 1.3 thousand dirhams. And this is lower than in Al Barari, Emirates Hills and Jumeirah Islands. This comparison doesn't take into account that those villas in existing prime communities are most likely designed and furnished, but this data gives a sense of what potentially achievable when Oasis is developed. But if you're looking for a house and your budget is 5 times lower than what's needed for Oasis, take a look at this area. This is also developed by one of the largest developers in Dubai, with experience in large-scale family-oriented communities. Here's the data for villas and townhouses in one of their areas. Since 2020, their prices have increased by more than 100% in value. The area I'm talking about is Damak Hills, and now Damak is actively developing a new villa and townhouse community called Damak Islands. The main reason it's on the list is its price. For $650,000 you can get a 4-bed townhouse, and $870,000 is enough for a 5-bed. Let's take a look at this from a price per square foot perspective compared to the neighboring communities. The average price per square foot for villas and townhouses in Town Square, which is here, is currently $345. In the Damak Hills, which is also nearby, the average is $375 per square foot. In the Mac Islands, the rate starts at $300 per square foot, and this will be a newer community with a much wider range of amenities compared to Town Square. So this price difference indicates a room for value growth. Investors should also be aware that supply in the area is also expected to be large. The development will cover 30 million square feet and include around 15,000 units. For comparison, Oasis will have about 100 million square feet, and eventually will have 7,000 units. So the Mac Islands is not for quick flipping, and you'll likely always face competition in the market. But just because of how it's priced, there is a good appreciation potential. Oasis is a super high-end villa area, and the Mac Islands is the most affordable one. But there will be many more options launching in 2025 that fall somewhere in between. And if you're interested in real estate investment in Dubai, whether it's a villa, townhouse or apartment, reach out to my team. Our approach is to help you make informed investment decisions based on data and financial analysis. You'll have our full support end-to-end, and we're doing that completely free of charge. So call us, WhatsApp us, scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get a free consultation with my team. By the way, one of such villa areas my team could tell you about is Imar Polo Club. There isn't much known for now, but we do know that there will be a large territory of 60 million square feet, and the key feature will be world-class polo fields. At the time this video was shot, there was no official information on prices, but some indications suggest that the barrier to entry will be relatively low for these kinds of properties. So stay tuned. However, even affordable villas are not cheap. So this brings us to the best affordable areas. Due to rapid market development, many of these areas have suddenly become popular. Big developers are launching projects, and investors think that the area will blow up. Here is how one area is marketed. First, great location near the key city spots. That's true, but 6 other areas offer the same. Second, a lot of developments with infrastructure improvements. True, as developers are building a lot there and new road is planned. Third, affordable, family-friendly housing. True, many other places are more expensive. Now let's assess the facts. Historically, this area wasn't growing. Since 2021, the average apartment in Dubai has grown by 36%. But in this area, it's only grown by 1%. Why? Even if the price isn't high, it doesn't mean families will love living there. There are no parks, no walking spaces, no schools nearby. So $380,000 for a 2-bedroom doesn't seem that great. And the development. The fact that developers are building there isn't necessarily a plus. It increases supply, not demand. Plus, a new road won't add value if there wasn't a traffic problem in the first place. So if you want to invest in one of the best affordable areas, take a closer look at Dubai Land Residence Complex. First, it's convenient for working expats. Despite being in the desert, it takes around 20 minutes to get downtown. For comparison, getting downtown from Dubai Marina often takes longer because of traffic. Plus, it's only 5 minutes from Silicon Oasis, where many offices are located. Second, a metro station is planned nearby. It will be called Academic City, and it will be part of the Blue Metro line, which is expected by 2029. When that happens, the area's appeal to expats will increase even more. Third, the area is surrounded by over 15 universities, making it a hub for students. This is also a source of additional demand. For years, nothing happened in the area, but it grew faster than the market. Since 2021, apartments in Dubai Land has grown by 44% compared to the average of 36%. Now the main developer here is Imtiaz. They already have experience of delivering buildings that far exceed the area's average quality and generate much higher rental income. For example, 1-bedroom apartments in their Al Furjan project rent for $26,000 versus the area's $16,000 average. That's a 60% difference. Given these 1-bedroom units sold for around $220,000, investors got an almost 12% rent-to-price ratio. It's a similar story in JVC, where they recently built Westwood Grande. This project made owners 10.5 to 12% rent-to-price ratio. This is huge compared to the area's average of around 7%. The entry ticket for good projects in Dubai Land is around $185,000 for a studio, $270,000 for a 1-bed, and about $380,000 for a 2-bed. The main risk is that Imtiaz currently has about 7 buildings under construction and more in the pipeline. Your property won't be super unique, but from a price standpoint, this is likely the lowest budget needed for a good investment. And while some investors look for the lowest price, others want to protect their investments from market fluctuations. For those investors, here are the best and the worst areas to consider for surviving crisis. Let's first discuss which properties perform better during downturns. On the left chart, you see the average apartment rental prices during the COVID-affected period. The average new rental contract price dropped by 27%, but over the same period, another property type on the right dropped by only 13%, so the COVID effect was 2 times lower. The second property type is villas and townhouses, and it's true they handled the global pandemic better, but this might be because of the specific crisis. People wanted to spend more time outside in their backyards. So let's take a look at some other data. Here's the comparison of 3-bedroom apartments with 1 bedrooms during the same period. Business Bay. 1-bedroom rental rates dropped by 25%, while 3 bedrooms dropped by 16%. Downtown. 1 bedrooms decreased by 20% versus 8% for 3 bedrooms. Dubai Marina is even more striking. 1 bedrooms dropped by 31%, while 3 bedrooms decreased by only 4%. The reason is that bigger units are usually rented by resident families, and resident families are the most stable type of tenant. They're more selective about what they rent, but once they choose, they tend to stay. Areas targeting tourists, on the contrary, aren't suitable for surviving downturns. No matter the nature of the crisis, it affects people's ability to spend money on travel, so look for the most desired family-friendly residential areas and big units. However, there is one issue with them. What you'll often see with large units, especially villas, is that their rental yields aren't that high. Some examples are on your screen, and quite often this number doesn't go above 5%. But there is one place that has a very decent average rent-to-price ratio for houses. Here, sales prices and rental rates are well balanced, and that results in a 6.7% average rent-to-price ratio. This area is one of the oldest villa and townhouse communities in Dubai. It's known for its big golf courses, and overall the area is green and loved by expats. Probably the only thing that stops many from moving here is that many properties are quite old by Dubai standard. This area is Jumeirah Golf Estates. The good news is that new projects are emerging here, and we can already say they generate very decent returns for owners. Take Jasmine Lane, for example. These 3-bedroom townhouses were handed over not long ago, and the yearly rental rates start from $82,000 US. Now these houses are priced at around $1.2 million US on average, but at the off-plan stage the prices were about 20% lower. So investors who bought back then now are getting 8.2% back in rental revenue. And there is another launch going on right now. One more sub-community is about to be built right next to Jasmine Lane. Here, the developer is building 4- and 5-bedroom twin villas, which are essentially 2 corner townhouses. The price for 4-bed units is about $1.6 million, and 5-bed units start at $2 million. And there is a specific type of area that is often perceived as great for resident families. These are master communities. Here's why they're often great for investors. Let's say this is a master community. It's fully built and controlled by one developer, and the whole community consists of townhouses. They announced their first cluster of houses at around 1.2 thousand dirhams, or $325 per square foot. Soon after that, they built a second cluster that is very similar, but this time it's priced at 1.3 thousand dirhams, or $355. Because the first cluster is already built and almost identical to the second, its prices go up. And when they announce the third stage at $380 per square foot, the same thing happens. And then with the fourth stage, prices rise again. One developer known for success with such communities is Emaar. Many developers try to replicate that success, but not all master communities are meant to be great. Take this one. It's marketed as a family-friendly master community. And it's not just any master community, it's only villas and townhouses. Sounds super sexy, but let's dig a little deeper. First, look at the community plan. Notice anything? For a family-friendly community, there is nothing really family-oriented. There is a pool and a gym, and that's it. Second, check the layouts. Look at the kitchen. A sink, a cooker, a dishwasher, and a single-door fridge. There is no kitchen island, so there is almost no space to cook. That might work in a studio, but not in a 4-bedroom house. Bedrooms aren't perfect either, there is no master bedroom. Every bedroom looks the same. There are no walk-in closets and no en-suite bathrooms. Third, the price for this 4-bedroom townhouse is $1 million US. That's not cheap, and there are stronger investment options in the same ballpark in Dubai. So if you want to invest in a truly great master community, one that is unique and in high demand for years, check out this area. On this piece of desert land, a developer is planning a forest-like community. The total area is 738,000 square meters, and they will be filled with 35,000 trees and over 20 bird species. The developer will deliver over 7,000 residential units in total, so by design there will be more trees than residents. Also, the plan includes a neighborhood retail and dining hub, an on-site school, and a mosque. This area is Gulf Woods by Majid Al Futtaim. It's planned to be super green and designed for family living. And there are similar cases in Dubai, apartments in Dubai Hills and Al Barari. Both Dubai Hills and Al Barari have shown exceptional growth. Since 2021, ready property prices in Dubai Hills grew by 63%, and in Al Barari they increased by 77%. The best part is that for now, Gulf Woods is priced much lower than these hyped areas. Club Drive, a new project in Dubai Hills, is priced at $575 per square foot. The average ready apartment in Al Barari is $555 per square foot. And Capria, the latest cluster in Gulf Woods, is $493 per square foot. Given all that, Gulf Woods is one of the most compelling areas for those looking for both value appreciation and rental income. And this brings us to the best and worst areas for rental property. Let's start with the area that didn't work out well. It looked so promising for many reasons. It's a waterfront area built one of the top developers in Dubai, and it's really well located, just 15 and 20 minutes from downtown. But unfortunately, here are the real stats for the rent-to-price ratio. These are apartments, and for apartments these numbers are definitely far from the best. So why? First, the apartments don't feel great inside. The windows are small. That fits the overall style, but it isn't appealing on the inside. Second, it was planned as a vibrant community. But all the retail and dozens of great restaurants are no longer operating. Third, there is no infrastructure for families. So what could help investors from the start is figuring out which tenants or buyers will find this area really appealing once it's built. For tourists, it could work only if there were plenty of things to do. But when the main dining spots are gone, there aren't many backup facilities. For residents, there is no infrastructure. It's just not suitable for families with kids. However, even though many things didn't work out, the area was still growing almost in line with the market, and a rent-to-price ratio between 5% and 6% is still higher than many rental properties in many global cities. That's why buying a waterfront property from a strong developer is the most straightforward way to get a property that won't fail. Okay, now let's dive into the best areas for renting out where you can get 1.5 or even 2 times higher yields. We made a separate video on them. Check it out here.